Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Gulfstream Park here on Monday. It's the 1st of January 2024. Going to look at the stakes action on the program from Gulfstream, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kit 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. Let's look at the stakes races 8 and 10 from Gulfstream. The 8th event, it is the Cash Run Stakes. It's going for a purse of $150,000, race for 2-year-old fillies here. We have a field of 7 horses going 1,600 meters or a mile on the Gulfstream main dirt course. The Cash Run, named after the 1999 Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies winner here at Gulfstream Park, back at the old Gulfstream Park. This year is actually 20 years since they, at the end of the 2004 season at Gulfstream, that's when they destroyed the old Gulfstream and demolished it and built the new Gulfstream. So, I have fond memories of that 2004 meeting at Gulfstream and betting all those with my grandfather, all those races at Aqueduct in the middle of winter. But it's good memories. My top selection here, I'm gonna go with the 3-horse Chai Chai. I'm gonna go 3-7-1-4 in the superfecta. 3714 Super. Top selection 3-horse Chai Chai. 3-year-old filly by Audible. Herman Walensky trains. Gets Gonzalez up in the saddle. The horse's most recent outing came the Sandpiper at Tampa. 6 furlongs on the 2nd of December. And he finished second by 3/4 length that day. And he sat back early on the inside. He was slowly moving his way into it. And he had the momentum late. I thought he wanted a little bit more ground. But he was closing up well late for, in defeat. Not a bad race. I think getting the mile trip for the first time, he should see a pace to close up into. I expect him to run well and find the winner circle today. 2 back in the juvenile Philly sprint at Gulfstream, 6.5 on the 11th of November for Florida breds. He won by 2 1/4 lengths that day, and again, he didn't get out of the gate so clearly, but he sat back early. He slowly moved his way into it, and he got the job done. A nice 70 buyer that day, coming back to South Florida for the first time, and then prior to that, in a black type stakes, Remington, 6 furlongs in mid-September. He won by 1/4 lengths that day, and from a tracking trip, he was a little bit wide, but he took off clear. He started his career off in Southern California. I guess he was one of those ship-in horses where they had that bonus. And he was running 5 furlong turf sprints where he was running okay, but I think he wants to go 1 turn mile. I think she's getting it today. She's training well. She's a good pace to close up into, and I think she could win. Let's choose her on the ticket. I think the 7-horse Queen's Martini could win also for Danny Gargan and Luis Saez, as only started once at Saratoga on the 19th of July. 5.5 in a main special weight, winning by 5 1/4 lengths, closing up from nowhere. Even after a horrible beginning, she showed a lot of potential that day. She hasn't been seen since then, though, but she is bred for this 1 turn mile trip. Danny Gargan, doesn't have the best numbers off the benches, but he has good numbers sprint to route, 31%. Training well, Palm Meadows, 4 furlong workout last week in 49-1, and a half mile in 49 flat, 7th best workout of 18. And a good workout from the gate prior to that, 50-3, his 12th best workout, 15. Hopefully she get out of the gate clearly. I think she goes up a lot with a mile trip. Let's use her on the ticket at 8-5, but I do think that 3-horse Chai Chai is a more likelier winner. But we'll use them both in the pick 4. But to recount my selection for the 8th from Gulfstream now, it is the Cash Run. Gonna take the 3-horse Chai Chai. Give kudos to the 7-horse Queen's Martini. 3-7-1-4 Super. 3-7 in the multi-race. Let's head over to race number 10 now, the nightcap from Gulfstream. And something I've loved about this current meeting at Gulfstream, that they're carding the featured stakes races as the last race of the program. I love that. Not enough tracks do that. It's always like the 8th race, or if it's a small field, the 3rd race. At Gulfstream, like the Fort Lauderdale last week was the final race. The week before you had the the Alan Jerkins as the final race, something like that. I just love it. You can't do a Derby day, but you can't run the Kentucky Derby as the final race because you can't have 150,000 people leaving at the same time, or like the Belmont either. But for these small cars, I like them. But let's look at the 10th race from Gulfstream, which is the Mucho Macho Man Stakes, going for a purse of $150,000. Race for 3-year-olds here. Field of 8 horses going 1,600 meters or a mile in the Mucho Macho Man. It's been now 10 years now since his final race. I believe his final race was actually the Sunshine Million Classic here in February or January of 2014. Did he run in the Santa Anita Handicap after that? I can't remember. I know he's training up for it. I might have to Google that later. But Mucho Macho Man, one of my favorite horses of the early 2010s. my top selection here, I'm going to go with the number 3 horse, Otello. I'm going to go 3-4-6-8 in the superfecta. 3-4-6-8 super. Top selection 3 horse, Otello. This 3-year-old called by Curlin. Christophe Clement trains. Luis Saez gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 24th of November at Aqueduct. 1 mile in the main special weight, 85,000. And the horse won by a neck that day. And Joel timed the race perfectly that day. One of the best finishing riders. He sat back early off of a strong pace. He slowly moved his way into it that day, and he got there up in the nick of time, and he grinded it out to the wire. That was a very good run. He is stepping up in late major class here today, but I think he has the ability to run a good race and run well into the Derby Trail. He's training well pace, and on Christmas Eve, a 5/8 mile drill in 101 and 2/5 of a second, and a 5-1 workout first time in South Florida. The week prior in 103 and 3/5, the fourth best workout of 11. Coming here today, back to with the quick turnaround at 3-1, I'm going to use him. I think the 4 horse First World War for Brendan Walsh and Tyler Gaffleone can win also. Coming back up in class, most recently they dropped him down in class. First time dirt at Churchill, mile 16th and optional 100, where he finished second by 1/4 lengths that day. And he didn't have the best of trips early on, where he had to steady a few times, but he was a little bit wide. But he looked like he was handling the dirt kickback well. I think coming to a 1-turn mile where he'll see a little bit of a stronger pace in front of him, I think he could get a trip to win. At 7-2 to end off the multi-race wagers, I'm going to use him there. But to recount my selection for the 10th from Gulfstream now, it's the Mucho Macho Man. Going to take the 3-horse Otello. Give kudos to the 4-horse First World War. 3-4-6-8 super. 3-4 in the multi-race. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.